What's going on, party people?
Throw your hands up, throw your hands up, oh yeah! Throw your hands up, throw your hands up, throw your hands up, oh yeah!
We're back with some more Babymonochrome action. This is a round 7 and winners semi-finals match between Rahul and Corck, also known as Corkscrew. And here we go, let's get into it. So Corck bringing a sand team to this one here. Pretty balanced sand team as well. Of course, you got the hippo there. And a cranidos as well. I always think I'm going to say that wrong. Cranidos. Cranidos? I'm going to probably say cranidos. That's okay. Catch me aside. It's fine. So, yeah. You also have a Poniard that's not going to be taking any sand damage. A Volibee, which, honestly, I want to say overcoat, but every time I say that on these sand teams or on hail teams, it ends up being weak armor still. Because, I mean, let's be honest, weak armor is just most of the time going to be a better ability. But I'm not going to rule out overcoat just yet. And you also have a Porygon and a Frillish. Now, those 3 Pokemon I just mentioned actually all have access to recovery as well, so they don't really care too much about taking Sand Chip. While on Rahul's side, you have quite a few Pokemon that do mind taking Sand Chip, as you only have, well, I guess there's 2 Pokemon there that doesn't take any damage from Sand, that being the Diglett, which is most likely going to be Arena Trap, and the Abra, which is most likely going to have the Magic Guard ability, not take Sand anyways. A Volibee, which, again, probably weak armor, especially on this team. A Porygon, which at least you got Recover, and same with the Volibee, you got Roost, so there you go. A Ghastly, tough to say what kind of Ghastly this one's going to be. Likewise with the Mindfu, but pretty offensive-looking team there from Rahul. Maybe looking to just punch a hole through Corkscrew's team before it gets carried away, maybe knock off a bunch of those items and just clear a path here for the Mindfu, which, barring the Frillish there, which is going to be something to deal with, looks like Mindfu can honestly do a lot of damage here to Corkscrew's team if they're not careful. So let's get into this semi-finals match right now. Okay, and I'm also in slow mode, by the way. It's just a little bit easier to record. I've been playing around with that lately, as it's easier for me to pause. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. If you absolutely hate the slow mode here, just let me know. I'll go back to normal. Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and all that. Okay. A Mindfu lead versus a Frillish lead from Corkscrew. Knockoff turn 1, gets the crit as well, loses to Violate, and lands the Will-O-Wisp. Okay, so a little bit of a tough first turn for Corkscrew. At least you get the Will-O-Wisp off. Mindfu's going to U-turn out of here. So Rahul's bringing in Ghastly on this turn. And Frillish is going to miss the Will-O-Wisp. That's unfortunate luck for Corkscrew early on here. In comes the Volibee on the Ghastly. Goes for a Shadow Ball. Doing 26%, that's quite a bit of damage. Volibee's just gonna outspeed and U-turn out of there. Hold up. Yeah, that is a Choice Scarf Volibee, most likely, or a hella slow Ghastly. I'm gonna lean towards the ladder there. Hippo comes in on a Sludge Bomb. It's gonna do 25% and get the poison. Rahul getting some early luck here in this one. The Hippo's going to get chipped away now. Shadow Ball, that's a 2-hit KO from that range. Just going to get up rocks here, so Corck might be looking to get out. Maybe just sack Hippo since it's kind of done its job getting up the sand. That's exactly what Corck does here. So Ghastly getting the KO. And taking Sand Chip as well. Now, it's not a Life Orb Ghastly either. In comes Cranidos. See, I said it. Volibee switching in for Rahul here. Going to take Stealth Rock damage. And take nothing from a Zen Headbutt, as it's a Dark-type Pokemon, and Zen Headbutt's a Psychic move. Quick's Knockoff gets rid of that thing's Life Orb. Then is able to knock that thing out with a Rock Slide. Now, it's important to note that Cranidos has the Sheer Force ability. I don't think it broke the mold on the way in. Let's see here. No, it did not. So that's a Sheer Force Cranidos. And it's going to hit just a little bit harder with those Rock Slides. And it wouldn't have been taking Life Orb damage if it still had its Life Orb. So, there you have it. In comes Diglett. That Cranidos is trapped. It's going to drop to an Earthquake. I don't think Cranidos gets access to any priority. In comes Porygon. Trace the Arena Trap. And Diglett just gets up rocks here. Porygon has the Tri-Attack. 56% on the Diglett. That's a 2-hit KO. And Diglett's just going to go for Chip here. And Raul's just going to let it drop to a tri-attack. Gets a little bit of damage. Maybe trying to knock this thing out with a follow-up, maybe with the Mind Fu here. Yep, in it comes. Now, this is a burn Mind Fu. I totally forgot about that. In comes the Frillish. Maybe a knockoff? Yep, here's the knockoff. Because even if you land on the Porygon, at least it loses the Violite then. So, that was kind of a safest move for Raul, I think. And then able to knock that thing out with a payback crit. Don't know if that mattered. It might have. Mind Fu is a strong Pokemon. In comes Porygon for Corkscrew. Sorry, it's just, I'm guessing from that, yeah, it did matter. High Jump Kick's actually going to do just enough to knock out that Porygon there, even with the burn. Volibee comes out for Cork here. Porygon comes out. I'm going to stop looking at the chat. Sorry, it's time to look at the chat. On the Brave Bird here for 35%. Going to take some recoil there. And going to go for another Brave Bird here, but Porygon probably just going to recover that off this turn. Yep. So Volbee's getting low, looking to roost here. Oh no, that's Choice Scarf. That's right. So you're kind of have to commit to the Brave Bird here. As Raul's actually just going to go for the T-Wave. Smart play, able to outspeed and quick recover here on the following turn. No full para. And just drops to recoil. Okay, so Porygon's still low-ish, but man, this Pawniard has quite the uphill battle here, doesn't it? I might go get the Porygon here, but then what? Iron Head. It's a Life Orb Pawniard. Oh, it's going to get T-Waved here, so this is going to get a lot more difficult for Corkscrew here. And Corkscrew just forfeits, so there you go. Raul up 1 game, 2-0. That was a good one. Let's get into game 2. Alright, here we go. Game 2, Raul versus Corkscrew. Winner of this one moves on to winners finals. And the loser of this one drops to the losers bracket, which they're down to their final 8 gamers. So in round 8, yeah, Corkscrew will be joining another, I don't know how many people would be left by that point. I think they skip a week. I don't know. I don't know. Don't make me do the math here. Okay, so Raul bringing a very offensive team yet again. This time with a Cottony. That is a Cottony, is it not? Yes, it is. Now, I'm a big fan of this thing's evolution, just with the access to the Prankster ability. It has Prankster, right? Yeah. Maybe it'll get up screens. Maybe it'll just spam Stun Spore and spread paralysis. We'll have to wait and see. You also have a Drifloon, very fast Pokemon once you get the Unburden boost there. A Drillbur, which is, I'm thinking, maybe the Hazard setter here with the Stealth Rocks. We'll have to wait and see. A Mindfu again. A Tortuga. I almost said Caracosta as I'm double checking. Yeah. Tortuga, which has access to Shell Smash. This could also be the Stealth Rocker, especially since you have a Clamperl there as well. So a bit of water spam. A bit of Shell Smash, water spam here from Raul. Corkscrew again, bringing a pretty balanced team. This time not Sand, though. And having some confidence in the Frillish, which should be useful in this match, considering you're up against 2 water types. And Frillish has the water absorb ability. Yes, it does. It might also be packing Curse Body. We'll have to wait and see. You also have a... Well, Porygon might be able to help deal with those water types a little bit. But yeah, going to be leaning on that Frillish quite a bit. And Cottony's going to be threatening that if it has access... Or if it has the Giga Drain, rather. We have Stunky, again, a Porygon, a Diglett, Mindfu, and an Arkin. I almost said Archeops. That's an Arkin. It's important to note Arkin has the Defeatist ability, so if that thing gets below half HP, it's not going to be hitting quite as hard as it would otherwise. This is the likely Stealth Rocker for Cork. Let's get into it here. Mindfu lead from Raul. Arkin lead from Cork, as expected. You can take a Fake Out and get a crit right away, okay. And that's going to be like pretty important against an Arkin, which really doesn't want to get below 50%, just got a little bit closer. In comes the Drillbur for Raul. And sets up Sub just above half HP. As Raul just sets up Stealth Rocks with the Drillbur. And Arkin clicks going for the agility. Okay, what's going on here? Maybe a little speed now. Acrobatics does quite a bit. Rock Slide. Arkin's going to be able to get a big hit off something here. to knock out that drill burr. Interesting, okay. Last move is probably rock move. In comes Tortuga. Mindfu switching in for Corck. And we see the early shell smash. Okay. Now I'm expecting a fake out here first. Rahul going to Drift Loom, maybe expecting that. Oh, on the high jump kick. Wow, excellent play by Rahul. In hindsight, that's a very smart play there. Not getting too greedy early on. This Arcan has an Oran Berry, so after taking Stealth Rocks, it's going to get HP back. And then fall right back down after an Acrobatics. Arcan, not the bulkiest Pokemon, especially holding a Berry rather than a Violet. Nothing drops. In comes Stunky. Drifloom really fast right now. Sets up a sub just in case Corkscrew goes for the Sucker Punch, which they don't. They actually go for the Crunch here and break the sub immediately. But that thing's just going to drop to an Acrobatics. I do wonder what item that Stunky is holding. It's going to take some Aftermath damage on the way out. Drifloom, that is. In comes the Porygon for Corkscrew. It's going to take an Acrobatics quite well and knock that thing out with an Ice Beam. We have a 4-4 game here. Rahul still's got both setup sweepers. In comes a Clam Pearl. Frillish coming in for Corck. Now, if this is HP Electric... Oh, and that is not Water Absorb. That is Cursed Body. Don't think it's in range. No, Rahul's going to switch out into Cotton here on the Recover turn. Good play. I don't think HP Electric was going to kill at that range. In comes Mindfu for Corck. On the Stun Spore, good play by Rahul. And the Tailwind follow-up. Big U-turn. Super effective because it's not a Fairy type in this generation. I think it's Fairy type in Gen 6. I know its evolution is. In comes the Porygon. That thing's also going to get Stun Sport here. And gets fully paralyzed on the same turn. In comes Mindfu. Get another full para. Wow, this luck is unreal for Rahul here. Big T-Wave on the Mindfu. And Mindfu gets full parried. Okay. Tailwind's gone. Totally forgot about Tailwind. In comes the Frillish for Corck. Full pair again from Mindfu. Okay, Hax Gods are evening the playing field here a little bit. Oh, another one. Wow, okay. Mindfu coming in for Corck. Good thing Corck doesn't have any kind of like setup sweeper. While this Mindfu keeps getting fully paired. That's a Choice Scarf Mindfu actually. I just saw that. Yeah, Rahul clicks knockoff here, and Cork's Mindfu actually loses his Choice Scarf. There you have it. Wasn't a Violet anyways. Gets fully parried. Rahul is able to break through paralysis and go for the U-turn here. Here comes Clam Pearl, maybe going for the sweep here. Frillish switching in for Corck. Nope, click Surf again. No Curse Body. Right into Mindfu for Rahul on the Recover turn. Mindfu switching in for Corck. U-turn? Nope, knockoff. Yeah, you really don't want to get that Frillish knocked off, eh? Don't think it's been knocked off yet. U-turn from Rahul here, getting out of there. In comes Clam Pearl. Like Surf just drops that Mindfu, just clean. The Deep Sea Tooth item, helping with that damage output. In comes the Frillish for Corck. Rahul switching into Mindfu. Take the Shadow Ball pretty well. Just gonna keep clicking it there. No drop. Knocks that thing off. Okay, I think you needed that there. Frillish gonna be a little bit easier to deal with now. In comes Cottony for Rahul. Takes Shadow Ball. You're just gonna Tailwind here. Help deal with. Maybe be able to get the KO on the Diglett later. Porygon switching in. Memento. Okay. And in comes the Tortuga. I don't want this to get this thing T-Wave. Big full para. And there's the Shell Smash. There you have it. And that thing's going to drop to an Aqua Jet. I was about to say, like, how is that Porygon so fast that it wanted to go first before getting full parried? And then I remember this thing traced Prankster on the Cottony. So it actually had priority T-Wave there in that moment. So Rahul getting a little bit lucky that didn't go through, but at the same time, You do have Clam Pearl in the back. I mean, that Diglett is a threat, especially if it's Life Orb, so you really gotta be careful with that thing. Rahul luckily able to break through that. Though Rahul did have the Aqua Jet on the Tortugas, so Diglett maybe not that scary in hindsight. Just thinking about that now. Waterfall's gonna knock out that Frillish. It gets Cursed Body, but again, you got the Aqua Jet. You can deal with this Diglett, no problem. Even a Violite's gonna drop, you'd think. And yeah, thing just clean drops it. And Rahul is moving on to the winners finals of Babymonochrome. Just 2 wins away from winning this tournament. My math is correct, so there you go. Great win by Rahul. You know, got some luck when they needed it, but I don't want to let that take away. I think Rahul brought some good teams here, played it very well, made some good predictions, and you don't make it this far based on anything other than just good gaming. So great game by Rahul, great game by Corck as well, still in this tournament. Just dropping the losers finals for, or not losers finals, sorry, the losers bracket for round 8. And stay tuned for more Babymonochrome action. Be sure to like, subscribe, and all that. Thanks for watching. Peace.